Today's video is on a transformation known as a rotation. Now you're going to need a couple physical tools to really do a good job in this section. First thing you're going to need is a compass. I'm not talking about the type of compass that would help you find your way out of the woods if you were lost. I'm talking about the kind of compass that'll help you draw a circle. Also, you would need a protractor. A protractor is a device that helps you measure angles. Now, if you don't have one or both of these things, you can certainly borrow one of mine when you're in class. However, they're both pretty cheap to buy. You might want to consider going out and getting one or borrowing one from someone who's not using it, just to have it with you and keep you from having to go through the hassle of borrowing them. One thing to keep in mind when doing a rotation for a transformation is that when something gets rotated, it's following a circular path. That's why we need the compass in this section. Now, in addition to those physical tools that we talked about, you are also going to need to be given certain information in a problem in order to draw a rotation. Three things. First of all, you'll need the pre-image. That might be something as simple as a point or something like a shape. You're also going to need what's known as the center of rotation. That will be the point in the middle of the circle that the object gets rotated around. And you'll need to know what the angle of rotation is. That's the number, usually that's measured in degrees. So that's how far the object moves in that circular path. And that's why we'll need the protractor. We'll look at an example where we see how all these things come into play. And then we'll kind of come back and revisit them. Here we have a point in the middle of the screen and a triangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this entire triangle around the point. We're given certain information. We're already given the pre-image. That's the triangle. It's been drawn for us. We're given the point of rotation. That's been drawn for us. The only thing that we don't have is how many degrees to rotate the triangle around the circle. And so they're going to have to just come out and tell us, bam, 40 degrees. Okay, we now have all the information we need to make this rotation. Step one is normally just to recreate the diagram. That you only really have to worry about if it's a textbook problem. If it's something given to you on a worksheet or on a quiz or test, you can go ahead and draw it right on the paper. So step one is kind of done for me here. Step two is where you actually want to use the compass. Now, I know there's infinite points on the triangle. There's a point here, 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 here. Oops, here, here. There's points all over this triangle. We're going to focus on the three key points, the vertices. Because if we can get those three transformed, we can connect them and get our entire triangle transformed. So we're going to take our compass and use it to draw circles through each of the three vertices on the triangle. Metal tip on the point of rotation, other end going through one of the vertices. Now I'm going to draw in the full circles. I know it's only a 40-degree rotation, so we probably only need maybe that much of the circle to be drawn. I'm just going to draw the whole thing to keep it simple. And draw another circle through that vertex, and a third circle through the third vertex. Done with compass. Once you've got your circles drawn in, you want to move on to step three. We're going to take a straight edge, and you can use your protractor for this, to connect the point of rotation to each pre-image point. So we'd have a segment from the point of rotation to that top vertex, one from the point of rotation to the left vertex, and one from the point of rotation to the right vertex. The reason we do this is to set up the next step. Now we want to use the protractor to find the point on the circle where the pre-image point will stop. We're going to do these one at a time, but you want to set it up so that the crosshairs of your protractor are on the point of rotation. Then you're going to want to turn your protractor so that the baseline of it follows one of the segments you drew in. Now, my protractor doesn't rotate, so what I'll do, I can move the baseline. I don't move the protractor, I move the baseline. You'll have to move your protractor to move the baseline. But see, this is now going to cover up one of those three green segments. You want to then read your protractor starting at 0 degrees. Make sure you're using the set of numbers that starts at 0 degrees and not the one that starts at 180 degrees. And you want to rotate counterclockwise. If it doesn't say which way to rotate, assume it's counterclockwise. We're going to go out to 40 degrees. You want to make a mark where the 40-degree mark is on your protractor and trace out a straight edge and find out where that 40-degree mark intersects the circle for that point. So this point started here. It's going to rotate along this path until right there. If this were point A, up here would be the point A prime. Get your protractor again. This time, I'm going to line up the baseline with the segment for the left vertex. The circle for the left vertex goes right through here. So I'm going to crank this out to 40 degrees again. And I'm going to put a mark. I'm going to take a straight edge and draw a segment from the point of rotation to that point. This point will trace this circle until it goes right here. So if this were point B, that would make this the point B prime. Let's get our protractor out here one more time. Set the crosshairs at the point of rotation. Set the baseline on the segment we drew. Crank it out to 40 degrees. Make a mark and connect the point of rotation to the mark you just made. Which means if this were the point C, following this circle to this point, that would give us C prime up here. If we connect our three transformed points, we get an isometric image. The blue triangle is congruent to the brown triangle. It's just been rotated 40 degrees around that point of rotation. So to review the steps for rotating an object about a point, sketch the point of rotation and sketch the object that you are rotating, unless it's been done for you. Use a compass to measure from the point of rotation to a key point on the object and draw in the circle. Do that for every key point on the pre-image. Then draw segments from the point of rotation to each of those key points on the pre-image. And use a protractor to figure out how far to move each point around the circle and plot your transformation. It may be helpful to go back and look at the first half of this video again if it didn't make that much sense to you before seeing the example. See if it makes more sense to you now. And we'll talk a lot more about this in the near future.